Hello and welcome to Rebecca Brothers English 101. Wanted to give you a brief tour of our online course shell here in Blackboard. Every teacher sets this up a little differently, so I wanted to show you what it looks like for English 101. When you go to your courses, click on English 101, your page should look something like this. This gray box is what I refer to, sort of our table of contents here. Anytime I give you instructions and say it's in the gray box in Blackboard, this is where you'll click. If you have a gray box that looks like this, when you open it up, just click on that title and it will expand the menu to show all of the different subcategories that we use here in English 101. Our home page, which is where we start here, there's not much in it right now because it's the beginning of the class. As the semester progresses, you'll see due dates appear, announcements will appear here, some alerts if you have anything that's late. Those kinds of things will appear here on the home page. For our class, the first thing I want you to do once you're able to log into Blackboard is hit this first link called Start Our Course Here. I don't have everything uploaded in this view just yet, but I will have some other videos here and some useful information to help launch you into our class. I want to make sure that everybody knows that when we're using Blackboard, you really want to make sure that you're using a browser that's compatible. I'm going to show you that here in just a second when we get into our syllabus. Course announcements. If I make an announcement, it will be sent to your KCTC email account. And it will look something like this. It will have English 101 in the subject line. It'll have my message here. You can reply here to me if you want. Be sure that you're replying only to me. I don't think there's a reply all option. Yeah, it's only going to reply to me, so you can't talk to the whole class in this format. But the other thing I want to show you about announcements is that whatever I post as an announcement, yes, you'll see it in your inbox, but the announcements will also build up here under this category, and you'll be able to go back and view all of the things that I've sent you through this semester. In your email, you could search for my name or my email address, and you could look and see which emails have come from me in your email, but this might be an easier place for you to find all of our announcements. Class announcements are really important. This is how I will let you know if there are any changes to due dates. I'll never make anything due sooner, but maybe later. So you don't want to miss out on an opportunity to get an extension on an assignment. I will post, if I get the same question from 2 or 3 students about an assignment, I know my instructions weren't clear, I'll post clarification on announcements, and you want to make sure you get those before you try to submit something. Again, any course changes or any announcements about our class are going to appear here. For your other classes, if they meet in person, this is especially important that you pay attention during this time of COVID, because if class has to be canceled or quarantined, this may be one of the ways that you're first contacted. In-person classes in the winter season, in the spring semester, also, this is where your teacher would announce that their particular class might be canceled, even if the rest of the campus is open. So don't ever ignore an announcement from a teacher. Even if they're long, you need to read them because your teachers are going to expect that you know what's contained here. The course syllabus, that's the next thing that, okay, so this is back in our class, so that's what announcements will look like. The course syllabus. A syllabus is a contract. It's just the word that we use in the academic setting to mean a contract. It's a contract between a teacher and their students. It's where we promise to tell you what the course expectations are, how you'll be graded, how you'd be disciplined, what the rules are, how your grade is calculated in the end. And that's our promise to you that we're also going to hold all students in the class to the same standard. It also means that once you've been given this syllabus, you agree that you've read it cover to cover, you know what's in there, and you know that you have to abide by the rules and meet the expectations to pass a class. I'm going to go ahead, remember I clicked here for syllabus, I'm going to click on this link. It'll open up a Word document. Sorry for that mess. I've been working all day on our class. And it should open up to this. The syllabi, that's the plural of syllabus, for JCTC courses are going to be really long. because it is a legal document. I'm going to show you right now a quick tour of our syllabus and point out what's different about my syllabus than the other syllabi you will receive. That doesn't mean you can just skip reading this. You should read this from the beginning to the end. You can't break a rule and then claim you didn't know it was a rule later and avoid the consequences. Okay, so for English 101, this is only for my class. One of the things the college wants to make sure that you're all paying attention to right now is that we all have to be flexible. We all have to know that with this really strange time we're living through in the age of COVID, that there are going to be changes maybe at a moment's notice, especially to your in-person classes. You may have to move classes, you may have to switch days, go to fully online for your hybrid or in-person classes. And, you know, those changes can happen, like I said, overnight. I could become ill. I want to make sure that you guys know that we have plans in place for substitutes and to make sure that you can complete your course if your instructors become ill. And we also will have plans in place to help support you if you become ill or you have to care for a loved one who becomes seriously ill. We're all in this together. As Andy says, we're going to get through it together. But we all need to be flexible. We all need to know that changes could happen. Okay, so basic information you're going to find in every syllabus, your teacher's name. It's important that you remember this because when you want to write those emails to all of your instructors, it's best if you address them by name. I do not have a doctorate, as you'll see in the introductory message from me, but I am a professor and instructor here at JCTC. You can call me Professor Brothers or Ms. Brothers, whichever is more comfortable for you. I don't have a physical office on campus. I work from home as an adjunct. Anytime you need to meet with me, everything we can do will be online. You can email me and we can correspond in email, or if you want to have a video chat, we can do that through Blackboard. You just need to email me to let me know when you want to meet. This phone number is not my personal phone number. You can leave messages here if there's an emergency, but it's really not the best way to contact me. It takes a while for me to get these messages. The best way to contact me is to use my KCTCS EDU email account. And when you write to me or any other teacher, you should always use your KCTCS email account. Please don't email me from your Gmail, Yahoo, whatever else you have. Even your other school accounts, for those of you who have dual enrollment, don't email me from your high school account. You need to use your KCTCS email. Office hours, I will respond to emails within 48 hours, 27 days a week. If we need to have a virtual online meeting for a video conference, we'll set that up, but you do that by emailing me first. This is the catalog description of our class. Basically, we're going to be doing a lot of reading and writing to get you prepared to write for college and beyond. Our college mission, you're going to hear in every class, but for me, this course to me is important because I know that the real world can be very cruel to people who don't read and write well. Look at the posts that some of our country's leaders make on Twitter and other platforms, and when they make a serious grammatical or spelling error, people pounce on that. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It just means they had a careless mistake. But people very closely associate your clear and correct writing with how smart you are. And if you can't write and communicate clearly, they're going to think you're not very smart. So I don't want anyone to ever misjudge you for that. This class should get you ready for all the reading and writing you do in college and beyond. If you're going to transfer this credit to another school, this class is designed to be transferable to a four-year college or university. However, it is up to you to contact that school you want to transfer to and ask them if they will accept the credit from this class. We can't guarantee that. All the values, learning outcomes are going to be the same in all your English classes. For our class in particular, we really want you to be able to write clear and effective prose in several forms using conventions appropriate to audience, including academic audiences, purpose, and genre. Find, analyze, and evaluate and cite texts and secondary sources, including academic databases to prepare speeches and written texts. If we keep on going, the critical thinking skills that you should develop in this course, it's all about problem solving and finding sources and being able to tell me this is fake news, this is substantiated, it is not. For our class, it's going to be really important for your writing that you know how to use good sources and how to weed out the bad ones. Our class does have some books that you're going to be asked to buy, but first and foremost, you're going to need a computer, daily reliable access to a computer. And that means a desktop or a laptop, not a tablet or a phone. You cannot take a class on your phone, not an online class. We have to have access to word processing. Blackboard isn't compatible with a lot of operating systems. For other classes, you may need, you're certainly going to need speakers for my class and possibly a webcam, although we'll talk about that later. We're not going to do the Zoom style meetings for my class, in-person meetings. Everything is asynchronous, means it happens offline. And then you upload your assignments when you're done. You'll have a video project at the end, but you can use your phone to create a video. If you're going to talk to me online, if we're going to have a video conference, you're going to need a microphone that works. This is what I was talking about earlier with Blackboard. You've got to have the right web browser. The two that are most recommended and most reliable are Firefox and Chrome. Please do not use Edge or Explorer. These create all kinds of problems and compatibility issues with Blackboard. If you're having trouble logging in, if you're having trouble uploading assignments, you need to switch to the other browsers. If you don't have these, you need to go ahead and download them now. You're supposed to check your email for me and all your teachers and your college every single day, your KCTCS email. That's how we communicate problems. This is how you can talk to me about assignments. If you don't understand how to do something, this is how you can access and learn how to use Blackboard, which is the online course tool that we've been talking about. It allows you to do your online research, which is especially important because our libraries are at very limited capacity right now, and your ability to go and do the research in the lab or at the library is going to be very limited. And word processing every single day, creating those Word documents, long papers, and research articles. Please don't rely on using a friend or a boyfriend or girlfriend's computer as your only access, because if something happens to the relationship, you might lose access to all your files and hard work. And I've seen it happen to every semester. So please don't let that significant other become your only geek in your life. You become your own geek and learn how to use the software yourself. I say geek endearingly. My husband is one. I love him. Okay, what kind of computer do you need? The simplest advice is a new lab type with 8 gigabytes of memory installed. Here are some more details about what you need on that laptop. The cost should be between $250 and $300. Most of the time, Best Buy, Staples, and Office Depot will have a laptop that meets the ideal for criteria for around $300 to $400. Please avoid Chromebooks, Android tablets, and iPads. They work, but they tend to have shortcomings based on past student experience. This is all from our IT guru, Aaron Noose. I'll make sure you have his email and have a way to get a hold of him to ask questions. He's really helpful, especially with matters of software and Blackboard. Here are some links for places to try to buy your computer. We get no kickbacks from this. We're just trying to point you in the right direction. After you've got your computer, how do you find your online classes? I have a link to this YouTube video in our assignment schedule. It is something that you're going to want to watch if you're a beginner with online Blackboard. I'm assuming that you figured it out because you're watching this through Blackboard. If you can't afford a computer, we do have some emergency aid available. It is evaporating quickly because so many people are applying. Please follow this link here and see if you would qualify for the emergency funding. Video conferencing, we're not really going to do that much in my class. We might have 101, but here are some general tips. Your teachers are all going to tell you this. Be on time for the meeting. Mute your mic when you aren't speaking. This will avoid those embarrassing my dog barking or my toddler screaming in the background. Do your best to control the distractions around you. Dress as you would go to class. Please, no pajamas. We're trying to prepare you for real life in the business world. You cannot show up to a business meeting in your PJs. Practice with a friend before the first class meeting. This is probably really useful. I like this. And participate and pay attention as if you were in the room with the instructor. They are watching you, and their impression of you does influence not necessarily your grade, but maybe their willingness to go the extra mile to help you out. Okay, books. We are going to be using both of these, not for a few weeks. You can wait maybe another week to order if you want to, but personally, I would go ahead and get those orders in. Our JCTC Learning Bookstore is the best place to go. They're supposed to have exactly the edition you need and the supplies that you need based on our class enrollment. The first one is A Writer's Reference, 9th edition by Nancy Summers and Diana Hacker. This is a book that teaches you how to write and give credit to the sources that you quote. The second is this book, War Is, Soldiers, Survivors, Storytellers Talk About War. This is a small paperback and shouldn't cost very much. Amazon has several copies for under $6 right now. I don't care where you buy your books, but if you're having trouble, please use the JCTC Bookstore. Okay, how can you be successful at online learning? For my class, it's really important that you keep a calendar of your upcoming assignments. I use a paper calendar. I do that because physically writing down due dates, we know, helps you remember things. But I know the value of also having those electronic alerts and updates on your phone or any other device that you might use for that. Please keep everything, print out important assignments and papers that you've written. If you have a long reading that's posted online, I would print it out personally because we know that reading in print, physical print, creates better reading comprehension. Make sure you keep all of your emails from me and every other teacher. Have a folder in your email for each class where you can organize those emails. For grammar help, I really like English Grammar for Dummies by Geraldine Woods. Ironically, under a misspelled word in my own syllabus. I will not be able to save that just yet, but I've got it fixed here. Blackboard is the system that we use by KCTCS. It is not software that you have to buy. It's a link on our own website. You don't have to purchase anything. You can find it, the link to Blackboard, through my path at this link. Again, I assume you figure that out because you're watching this through Blackboard. And again, please use Chrome or Firefox as your browsers. The computer labs on our campuses are going to try to be open. The Learning Commons are going to try to be open so that you can have some limited access to the personal computers and internet and printers that are there. However, please know that this could change at a moment's notice because of COVID-19. If it were forced to close down again, you're not going to be able to access those. Work now to get access to your own laptop. See above for instructions. We have extended student Wi-Fi connections to the parking lots of all campus locations. So if you have to work in your car and come to campus to get that good Wi-Fi, you can. We're trying to make sure that we have that extended to our students who live in places where high-speed internet is difficult to access. We use Starfish, which is another part of our website. It's another system that helps me flag your name. If I feel like you've stopped coming to class, you don't email me back when I ask what is wrong. If you start to fail my class, I might alert Starfish, and either a counselor or an advisor will reach out to you and try to see if we can get you the help that you need. If you're flagged in Starfish, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It means we're trying to make sure that you know that we have lots of resources from tutoring to financial aid. We even have some resources that help with things like transportation and childcare costs. So please, if you get a Starfish flag and someone calls you from the administration, know that it's because we care about you and we're trying to reach out and help. Course requirements, check your email on Blackboard every single day. Keep your calendar. For our class, we write 3 major essays and a research paper. We use MLA documentation, which is what that Diana Hacker, a writer's reference book, is going to teach you. Please don't panic if you don't know what this is. I'm going to teach you all about it. If you've already learned, it'll be a good review and you'll get even better. Here's how you'll be graded. 30% of our class is going to be made up of these writing assignments: a reflection, a poetry analysis, and a film analysis. They're each worth 10% though of your overall course grade. So if you got 100 on everything else and you didn't turn one of these in, the best you could do in the class is a 90. So please make sure that when, especially anything that you write that is longer than a couple of sentences, that's a major assignment. Make sure you turn those in on time. Participation is going to be 30% of your total grade. It's going to be lots of smaller written assignments, discussion boards, email assignments. So those will all be, I'll show you where to find those. Research process, this is the most important part of your grade and it's worth the most. 40% of the final course grade. That's broken down into an annotated bibliography. I'll show you what that is when we get there. Don't panic if you've never heard that. The first draft and final draft of your research paper. The final draft is 20% of your overall course grade. I've never had anybody skip this and pass my class. It's just not possible. The following grading scale is used. It's basically a 9-10 point grading scale, which is what most of us use at the college. All units of study are supposed to be finished in order for you to pass the class. However, please listen. Your success is my success. I love teaching, and I do not like it when students fall behind, and I hate having to fail a student. I know that life happens, and there are big things that can happen that can completely derail your education. We work together to plan for your success. That being said, incompletes are only given at the discretion of the college instructor. An incomplete is given instead of an F, and it means that you can continue to finish the course with that teacher in the next semester if they will accept the work without losing the progress that you've already made. For me, I only give those for medical emergencies or family or housing status crises. For example, if you lose your home, job, childcare, or have to take a leave from school to care for a dependent. In the time of COVID, if you fall behind in my class, I promise I will do everything I can to catch you back up. We're going to be flexible a little bit with due dates. We're going to be flexible with making sure that we check in with you. We want people to succeed. The final exam for this class is not really a test because the research paper is the best way for me to gauge your accomplishments in this class. I can't make a multiple choice fill in the blank short answer test that would grade you any more accurately. Our final exam for this class will consist of a video presentation you're going to create and share to the online course shell and Blackboard. You'll get to record it on your own time and post it. It'll be based on a book you choose the first month of class. I'm going to tell you all about that book choice project here in a little bit. The final project must be uploaded on by December 11th at 11:59 p.m. Late work? I don't accept the small things late, but the big ones, I know that sometimes life can throw you a curveball. Big assignments that are late are usually marked off a letter grade for each day that they're late. If you're having trouble understanding how to do an assignment, if you ask me 2 or 3 days before it is due for clarification, I can help you. And if we've been working together and I can tell that you're making progress on that assignment, I will give you an extension. You cannot tell me on the day that it's due or 3 days after something was due, well, I didn't understand it, and just say, well, I want an extension. No, ask for help and we'll talk about it. You do that through email. We don't have any proctored exams in English 101. It's all about your writing. I do use SafeAssign anti-plagiarism software. It checks to see if your paper has been submitted online, copied from a website, or used by another student. So that kind of cheating does get proctored, but not multiple choice tests for English. Grading and communication, please use the KCTC email account as we talked about. The turnaround time for grading. Please be flexible because just like you, COVID-19 has also affected me. I'm home with both of my kids who are doing non-traditional instruction. I have a 13-year-old and a 5-year-old. That means that most of my day is taken up with monitoring their progress. I will try to work during the day, but I usually use the weekends to catch up. For long writing assignments of more than a page, 2 weeks are required before I enter those grades, at least 2 weeks for me to get it graded. 1 week for smaller assignments. Please be patient. When I have a long assignment, I try to give you good feedback on your writing to make you better, and it takes time. I have over 90 students. Drop and withdrawing from the class. This is all posted on the JCTC calendar. You can drop up until August 23rd for a 100% refund without receiving any penalty on your cumulative transcript. You can drop and get a grade of W without my permission up until October 12th. Please talk to your academic advisor about how a W can affect your financial aid and your GPA. It is not great to take a W in a class that doesn't come without consequences. You might not be able to borrow money because you've taken a W. Always talk to me before you try to drop. Even if you don't need my permission, let's talk about it and see if we can't get you back on track. After midterms, students may only withdraw with an instructor's permission, and it is totally up to my discretion, okay? If you are a high school student dual enrolled for double credit, you have to talk to your own high school counselor on your high school campus to talk about withdrawing from a class. If you do not finish the course in the allotted time, you'll receive a grade of E unless you withdraw from the course and request it incomplete before the deadline. I only allow failing student who has documentable evidence of a hardship such as illness or loss of child care. Students who are failing cannot just take an I from me. Those students will receive a failing grade of E. Dual credit, you have a separate process. You do not have access to self-service, so you can't do it all online. Contact your campus coordinator for dual credit, and if you don't know who that is, you can also contact Michael Alcorn for help. The withdrawal process is not complete until we receive confirmation that you've been withdrawn from the class. Make sure that you follow the instructions completely. Dual credit, this doesn't apply to you. Okay, if you need, if you're a special student needing accommodation, those are adjustments or aids or services to help you complete the course. If you had an IEP in high school and you haven't contacted the Accessibility Resource Center, ARC Center, you need to do that as soon as possible. I cannot grant accommodations like extensions or shortened assignments for anyone without documentation through the ARC office. Here's where they're located, Chestnut Hall, room 319 downtown. You don't have to necessarily visit. Here's the phone. And here are the people that you want to contact. Disability coordinator Nancy Berkla, I work with her a lot. She's the person who usually sends me the email, let me know if someone needs an accommodation. Make sure for deaf and hard of hearing that you can't contact Derek Frazier, but contact Nancy as well. Okay, sometimes things go wrong, and you may have a complaint about our class. If you want to lodge a complaint about any aspect of this class, you have to talk to me first. Email me. And when I say you have to talk to me first, it's because if you go over my head and talk to my boss first thing they're going to ask you is, well, have you talked to the instructor? If you say no, they're going to say, there's nothing we can do until you talk to the instructor. Okay, I have a duty to maintain an educational atmosphere in the class. You may find some of our course materials personally challenging to your belief systems. You don't have a right to not be offended. You do have a right to be heard and to be a classroom of academic debate. You may find yourself getting emotional about our class discussions, and that's a normal part of school. We may discuss issues and lifestyles with which you do not agree. Learn to express your opinions intelligently, and we'll be just fine, because we attack ideas in our classroom, not people. If that conflict that you have with my class is not resolved with me, you are welcome to go ahead and talk to my department chair. He's my immediate boss. His name is Michael Estes. Here's his phone number and email address. If you and Michael can't work it out, go on and talk to Amy Stewart, his boss. And then if that doesn't work with Professor Stewart, you can talk to Dean Dr. Randall Davis, okay, and contact him here. You do have a right to file a grievance if you need to, but make sure that you go through this process because they won't listen to you if you haven't. All right, Code of Student Conduct. This is all in line, how to behave and what the rules are. You should never write to me or another classmate anything you do not wish to be made a permanent part of your records for school. Be respectful, maintain an adult tone, and read and reread anything you want to submit to be sure you're not being rude to me or classmates. If you wouldn't say it aloud to someone in person, do not write it. Do not make personal remarks to others. We attack ideas, not people. And in my classroom, you have to understand that because, part of your grade is about, all of your grade is about how you communicate. We take it really seriously in the English department. Everything you write is forever. And so make sure that you are leaving a clean trail behind you online. Some good rules for online behavior and etiquette can be found here at this link. There's some good tips in there about some specific ways that we do and don't behave online. You want to communicate with me and your fellow classmates as if we are co-workers in an office setting. They are not peers in the hallway or the football locker room. And I'm certainly not one of your football buddies. We have a written list of student conduct. It is your responsibility to read the entire thing. Okay, for my class, really the conduct issue that might come up is plagiarism and cheating. This is when you try to pass off someone else's work as your own, or to try to submit your own work twice in 2 different classes and get credit twice. That's not all right. The whole point of being in school is to read and write well. You're not going to learn that if you're submitting the same assignment over and over again. This kind of plagiarism is intentional. It's not the kind that happens when you forget to put a quotation mark somewhere, or you might not list all the authors correctly on your works cited page. This is when you're cheating, when you're trying to take credit for someone else's work or get double credit for your own. You'll know that you've done this and it's intentional. Because it's intentional and dishonest, and because it undermines the whole point of being in school, for my class, I reserve the right to award a failing grade for the entire course for any plagiarism on any assignment, period. Not a 0 on the assignment, not a second chance or a redo, but a failing grade for the course. No refund. Attendance policy, you need to log into your student email and Blackboard course shells daily. This helps you avoid surprises, as many of us change due dates or make important announcements between usual class postings. No show for online courses is determined by work submitted to the course. Attendance is not determined by logging into Blackboard. If you want to make sure you aren't dropped from the class after being a no-show and all the consequences that follow from that, be sure you are submitting those first assignments in all your classes on time. For our class, you need to log in and watch lectures, videos, and read class discussions on your own schedule. This means you do not have to be present at the same time every week, but please log in daily to check for assignments, announcements, and to keep track of your due dates. Attendance for religious holidays, we should not ever have to deal with this because we're online. We're not meeting in person. If you have due dates that happen on a religious holiday, I would expect for you to submit your work early in order to avoid having to work on that religious holiday. Please discuss with me if you have concerns about that issue. Inclement weather, that also shouldn't affect us unless somehow all the internet and all the power in the whole county and surrounding counties goes out. We'll deal with that when it comes. I would suggest that everyone sign up for Snap Alerts on your phone. Call that number or go to this link to look for Snap Alerts to sign up. This is how you're going to get all kinds of safety notifications from school closures and delays. And if we were to have, God forbid, an active shooter on campus, you would be alerted on your phone this way as well. Links to key college and academic services. This is an online class, so it's a little different. We do have a Learning Commons, used to be called the library. The Learning Commons downtown at some of our satellite campuses. I know Southwest Bullitt is going to try to remain open just for computer access and printer access. Please check for more information before you try to go to any of these places in person. It's safest to do all the online stuff that you can instead of in person. BrainFuse, which you can access through Blackboard. You can also access it in this link as a service available to fully online classes only, which includes ours. You get 7 hours per semester of tutoring. They also have an online writing lab, which might be really useful if you're having trouble with writing in our class. You're automatically enrolled in online learning student orientation. You're going to be required to complete this and then forward your completion certificate to me in email. If you've done it for another class, that's great. All you got to do is forward that same email to me again. If you haven't done it yet, start with this YouTube video to get you started. That's going to be on our assignment schedule. I'll show you the due date there. I don't capture our lectures. Title IX, you cannot be discriminated against because of your race, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, marital status, religion, beliefs, political affiliation, veteran status, age, or disability, including denial of a request for an accommodation. And you have a right to file a grievance. We want to make sure everyone's welcome here. There is nothing that you can be that would make you unwelcome at Jefferson. Everyone has a place in my classroom. We have lots of troubleshooting available for you. There are websites and phone numbers for you to call 24/7 to help you get the help that you need. I know that was long. Okay, now that's the syllabus. The other thing I'm going to show you here, assignment schedules. I publish your due dates here. Here is the first 6 weeks of class or so, and I will publish the rest later in the semester as I see how these first 6 weeks start to go for us. You'll see that each week we have the date at the beginning of the week, and first in-class meeting, it shouldn't be there, but it's our first online meeting. Homework, everything that you need to do. Please complete everything in the order that it's listed here. So if I ask you to watch something first, please don't write the written assignment next. Don't go to number 4 and write something until you've completed all of these steps. I have links here, and the due dates are going to be listed for each week here, usually on the Sunday at the end of that week and by 11:59 p.m. right before midnight, Monday morning. Okay, that gives you the entire week and weekend to complete what you need to do for our class. Be careful though, sometimes I will have due dates during the week when we have smaller assignments that build up to something larger. Okay, so every week is the same. We have our topic and you're going to know what to do and in what order. Okay, this will be expanded. There'll be another one listed in the middle of September. When you have an assignment due for me, the instructions might be listed anywhere here, but to actually upload the assignment, go to Submit Everything here. Every assignment that you have to do for my class will be listed in the order that it's due. This is the first thing you're supposed to do for me after that online orientation. When you open it, it'll look like this. It'll tell you the due date, the title of the assignment, points possible, it's always out of 100. And you have a couple of options down here. Assignment submission, text submission, write your submission. Please don't ever use this. This is not the correct way to upload a long document to Blackboard. You want to attach a file. Browse your computer, look and see where you have saved something, attach it like this. I agree, you want to check that in the comments, okay? And then scroll all the way down and hit submit, okay? But every time you submit something, this is sort of your submission box, sort of your mailbox to send it to me here. All right, under that, we begin our units of study. The first one is the reading autobiography. When you click open on this unit, and this is all listed in your assignment schedules, you'll know it'll say, under reading autobiography in the gray box in Blackboard, read this link, watch this video, read this link. You have several things there that you need to either watch or read. And you have a couple of assignment instructions listed here. Okay, so for this one, for instance, you're going to watch this video. It's going to take you to my YouTube channel, and you're going to get to see me in all my headset glory here, and you're going to get to hear my own little reading autobiography. Here's a poem that I love about reading to your children by one of my favorite authors, Richard Peck. You're going to have instructions. Instructions are always going to be in a Word file. You'll open it up, and you'll see that you have, this is a long one to read through, but it's going to help you figure out what you need to do in order to create your own paper. Okay, actually, this was my example paper. If we go back to reading autobiography, this was my reading autobiography, the long piece of writing. This is what yours will look like. So it's a sample or a model of what you're going to be writing. How to write your own reading autobiography. This is the set of instructions that you're going to need, okay? This is a lot shorter, but it gives you a place to start. Make sure that anytime you're given instructions on a writing assignment that you read them thoroughly. Your teacher's going to grade you based on those instructions, okay? There are other links and things to watch. I have under this link a discussion forum to ask your fellow students for help on this assignment. This one's not graded, but you can post and troubleshoot here with each other since you can't talk to each other in class. Our next major block of studies is this war studies link. I explained thoroughly why we talk about war so much in my English class, but you're going to be clicking here really often. This is not 1 week's worth of assignments. This is a month's worth of assignments here, so please don't panic at how long it is right now. You're going to have a lot of time, but you're going to have things to read, both in your textbooks and online, things to watch, and things to write. I've also included in this category, we have some discussion boards. I've never used these before, so please be patient. I'm figuring out how to grade them now. When you click on them, You're going to have a list of instructions that tell you what you need what you need to post or the questions that you need to answer. Okay, and when you're ready to answer, you're going to create a thread. Okay, you'll create the thread, answer the questions that are listed here. Once you've done that, you'll be able to see the response of your classmates. I usually offer extra credit to anyone who thoughtfully replies to posts by other classmates. So make sure you get yours all done, and then you can reply to things that are sent by classmates. Like I said, this is really long, but it's several weeks worth of work. I have a grammar help button here. These are tutorials. I've even got some Schoolhouse Rock videos on here you may or may not have seen before. Some of my favorite bloggers. Grammar Girl is one of my favorite. She has a great blog about grammar, quick and dirty tips, Grammar Girl. She does a great job of explaining some of the hardest parts of grammar in really conversational, easy to understand ways. Okay, I like her a lot. So if you know you've had a lot of trouble in the past with writing, this might be a place that I point you. If I say, you know, you're really having trouble with run-on sentences, please go watch the video about run-on sentences. And there are some exercises and places that you can go to practice and get some help. Okay. Blackboard Help, this will be a link that you can use right here. Common issues, popular pages, videos. Look at all these links. Okay, this is going to help you a lot with Blackboard. I don't do anything fancy with Blackboard. Discussion boards are the fanciest thing I do. But you may have teachers who do discussion boards and group work and tests and quizzes and all kinds of things on Blackboard, and you may need help with that. This is a great link to use to help you learn how to use those tools. Okay, if I can figure out how to do this, I'm going to stop our video. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to go on to the next topic.